Hello, beautiful Capricorn. Welcome to your reading. If you're new here, I am Divine Light, and I'm so happy you have joined me here today. In this reading, you will explore what are the messages you need to urgently hear, what you need to know urgently, okay? And we're going to pull some inspiration from this Libra equinox. We have partial solar eclipse. We had a lunar eclipse. We're going to see if they're also affecting you, or we can get inspired from the planetary movements as well. And this is a time of honoring your harvest and also plant new seeds, create new intentions for the future as well. By the way, if you want to enjoy this reading, don't forget to give some love, hit subscribe. It's the free and the best way to support the channel. And you can tap the bell if you would like to see more of these. That will actually give you a signal whenever I upload. Also, I'm offering now private readings. You can go ahead and check in the description box my email address, and you can go ahead and send me an email from there, okay? All right, guys, let's start out and see what's happening with you. There is an intense and dense energy, I feel. There are two tears of joy, one here, one right there. There's still some time for them to show up, but it seems like one of it is like in the hand, meaning one of the news that you're waiting for can be maybe in your hand, like hand in the sense of like in your, I want to say handbook, but it's not it. It's the cell phone, maybe that there's a number that you need to dial. There's a good news waiting for you when you dial that number, and maybe you're avoiding it. And because I see there's a snake wrapping around you, maybe you need to shed an old skin there. This can be representative of maybe you're feeling angry about something or someone or something they have done. However, it seems like here, this is something that you should also look into. Okay, maybe what they have done is something that you would prefer them to do for yourself. And it's time to just look in the mirror and start to do that thing for yourself rather than expecting this person to do it for you. Because that's going to be, it seems like you're, that's going to open up a pathway. That's maybe even the message, the cell phone, the message that you need to receive out of that situation. There's a highway opening outside of the cup, meaning there's a situation happening outside of your comfort zone and you're going to participate in it. This can even be for some of you, not too far away. There's a faraway travel shoe showing up, but maybe some of you are actually moving, planning to move. And now that eclipses are actually passing, this can be a good time to start looking for something new. And like I said, this is a time to plant new seeds as well. Some of us are actually going to go through winter, and some of us are going to go through summer. So like in the southern hemisphere. So it seems like here you can plant your seeds and collect them at the end. And there are some seeds actually they can grow in the winter as well. And the intention is always something growing. It's like a seed that you plant. And I see there are 4 people coming together. And this is actually forming a very strange thing right there. There's a face. You see there's a face, there's someone, they tied their hands here. It's not very clear, but I can see their hands tying here. 1, 2, 3, 4 people in front of them coming together. Now, I feel maybe this is someone who needs help. And this doesn't have to be someone that you know. This might be someone who needs help of 4 people coming together, creating a teamwork. And then through that teamwork, they are going to actually receive their heart's desire or resolve this problem. Maybe the problem can be something that you are a specialist. Okay, so this doesn't require you to learn something extra. Maybe you already know what you're doing in the situation. This can be like even someone wealthy who needs a mentor. Maybe their children needs mentoring. Maybe you're great at math and you can teach that. So it can be simple to you. Because a math teacher actually takes math really like thinks that it's easy for them because the parts that they're teaching is easy for them because there's something they are specialized at. So it's easy for you to take care of. That's why the path is open and you're not going to really stumble on or fall while you're going through this adventure. Another thing I see here in your heart space, there's a desire. And it seems like there's a dog actually picking their nose. This can be someone loyal. I see number 2. Also, this kind of looks like an ankh, which is the symbol of femininity. 2 is also the double energy, a couple energy. So some of you might be manifesting love or a partner or a friend to come towards you, stand by you, support you, be with you basically. And it seems like here they are forming. They're gathering up their courage, or they're putting together whatever is necessary to come towards you. And this can be someone also trying to get their courage. Maybe because of your like a confidence, they might not feel too confident to approach you. What can you do about that is, doesn't mean that you need to go approach them, or if you need to give them like basically open like allowance, but you can signal them that you're available if you're into that kind of relationship right this moment. Another thing I see here is there are two pathways opening. There's a pregnant woman, which I see the goat here, the chin, the beard on her chin, which symbolizes Capricorn energy, and you are going to give birth to something new. And this can be something because the end so the last 3 months of pregnancy is really hard on the body, on the women, and the mental state, because it's just, it gets really hard to even sleep during those times. So it can be like you're on the last stages of building this thing that you're desiring. And so, but it gives you a great fruit. It's something that you feed, whatever that you feed into that baby, that idea is going to actually represent itself into the world. Okay, and it seems like you're on the brink of bringing that to world. I see another person here, number 3 on top of their head, looks like a big head, a person, masculine figure. Number 3 indicates creativity, so they might add or throw some ideas at you. They have like a creative outlook, so their ideas might be really fruitful if you can really consider them, take them into consideration, maybe allow them to come into the space. But I see their big head can be, when you take their advice, they might want to intervene into the situation and claim ownership on the baby. Okay, so it is, because I see like this kind of looks like to me also like out of their head there's an arm sticking out which is holding a knife. A knife can represent a little bit of hostile attitude. So discernment is going to be necessary here, that you need to practice your free will before accepting their help, because it seems like there are many other people showing up here as well, want to help you, because if you're creating something amazing, everybody wants to be a part of it. Okay, so I remember watching the movie The Facebook, and I saw that like this guy was creating something. He started out of his like college dorm basically, and then a lot of people just jumped into the game. Like even though they didn't say, "Oh, this is a young kid. He doesn't know anything. This is not going to work." Nobody said that. Everybody wants to be a part of the thing. They all take a piece of the cake. Basically, they want to take a piece of the cake. So if you're creating something amazing here, there are going to be good people, bad people. They're all going to show up, but some of them are going to really participate and like elevate this thing. Okay. Another thing I see here is a creature, kind of reminds me of octopus. And there's also ant here. Ant can be symbolizing hard work, and because they're in colonies, you don't really see one ant running around by themselves. This can be a community you're going to be entering into within maybe 3 months or 4 months as a timeline here, or 4 weeks it can be the timeline as well. This is like another like urgent message maybe you need to know here. You're creating something amazing, or maybe this can be representative of like something that you want to purchase, something that you're building, maybe a home, maybe a career, maybe a place for yourself basically. Maybe you're making your garden, readjusting it, like building it in the way that you want it to be. There is a person showing up here. They might act like they're helping, but at the end they might actually claim ownership on that. So be careful with that. That's like something that you urgently need to know, because maybe you're thinking, oh, I need to take their help. There's no other way. If I don't take their help, I'm not going to be able to finish the project. Seems like there are other people coming in with different skill sets. The ants, their skill set is they're hardworking, they're disciplined. They go for like to results. Okay, they prepare to get ready. Octopus also extremely smart creature, and they are like octo, 8 hands, 8 tentacles, actually indicates that their hands, yes, multiple functions, but also reaches to far away. So it can be someone who has far reaches that are showing up here, that you don't need to deal with the grumpy one, but there are going to be other people with their skills. They're marking there's a treasure chest here, you as a treasure chest, okay, and giving you the worth and the value that you're desiring. This can be friendships also. Maybe you have a grumpy friend that keeps like sabotaging you or bringing your energy down, basically, with your negativity. It seems like there's a better thing happening out there for you, okay? Can be like neighbors and stuff. And this, I see you right here. You're inside of a volcano. You have a star or maybe even a big hat of authority above your head. There's a Pegasus here, a horse with wings, which symbolizes wish fulfillment, but it's a dreamy wish. Like the horses with the wings, like Pegasus is a mythological creature. So this is something that you think, oh, it's a mythology. It's not going to happen. Horse, yeah, it can happen. That desire, for example, I can purchase an apartment. Yeah, I can get the money for that, but I can never buy a home with a backyard and a garage. Maybe that's the case. So it seems like you're the Pegasus appearing right above your head when you're calm, cool, collected, maybe meditating, like sitting on your meditation pillow, but you're in a volcano. Can be the volcano representative of, first, you're going to have peace in this space. Also, you're going to be pursuing your passions. When you're pursuing doing this two things together, bringing these two things together, the Pegasus appears above your head, like that wish fulfillment that you think is too far-fetched, okay? Another thing, I said like there's a pathway here. You can see just a little bit end of the pathway. This can be the inspiration coming to you to take you maybe somewhere that you will get what you're desiring, or maybe explore something different when you get there. But I also see in the same timeline, you're actually forming a partnership to help this person who needs, who's grumpy person who needs something, okay? Another thing I see here, I see letter F, can be in someone's first name or the last name. I see someone here looking really like exhausted and poor, sitting right under your feet. Your energy might also be helpful with another person, which I see there's a horse right next to them. Maybe an advice that you're going to give to them is going to be also changing their life for the better. What does that mean? This means that your advice is going to help someone to help themselves, which is going to come back to you. It doesn't have to be coming back to you from specific that person, but what you put out is what you get back. Definitely, maybe some things, an approval that you're expecting on the house, for example, a loan, that's going to go through, okay? And you think that is the Pegasus that is in the sky is going to come through. It can be something like that as well. It doesn't have to come from the exact same source that you put the energy in. Another thing I see here, there is a dog biting a bone right there. Kind of reminds me of golden. Right next to the dog, there's a pony. And so ponies are also small wish fulfillment. Dog can be symbolizing someone that is, this can be like you being loyal to the cause, like following, pursuing your desire and receiving the bone that you desire. And this can be something that we deem too small, but if you have pets and you know dogs, that's the most precious thing you can go give to a dog. So it is something that is going to be really precious for you. Another thing I would like to mention, like I mentioned in the beginning, I think it's just maybe you have a skill that you deem it so small, but it's a massive thing for others. This is going to be the same level. Maybe this is going to be something you deem massive that is small to others. Because not everybody desire the same thing, even though we seem like we all desire the money. At the end of the day, that when you ask the right questions, you don't end up with having a paper that has numbers on it. It just ends up having a material desire fulfilled, okay? Another thing here, there's a bigger dog right there staring and admiring you. This can be also someone who has very strong loyalty towards you, and I feel like they're not going to connect with you though, but you're going to realize maybe within 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks or so, 7 months maybe. 7th month is the June. I know there's still some time when you look at the timeline, but the 7 is the number. 7 can be the number related to the person as well. Maybe they're born in June, July. I'm sorry, it's July, which is like a Cancer. Maybe this person is a Cancer. Okay, let's dive into your soul star now. If you have a specific question, a desire, and intention, hold it in your mind. I see that your energy field is intact. Someone with a knife or maybe a violin, I don't know, it looks both ways, waiting for you. Your desire coming really fast. This person is inside of your comfort zone, so that's why I feel like violin can be for celebration. They're waiting for you. But let me mention the other thing too, because I saw the knife first. If this person is waiting for you with a knife, this can be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Someone, knife is their words. They might really hurt you and tell you, oh, what you have done is not a big deal. Another thing here, this can be a hostile person that really gets jealous of what you're achieving. The best way is like they're still in your comfort zone, but you're drawing a line outside of them. You're not maybe thinking they're being hurtful to you, but it seems like they're the one really draining your energy. Your desire coming really fast, and I see like maybe you're not even feeling like happy about it, even though you're achieving success here. This person's attitude is just bringing you down. I see letter L, U, and I see R, Larry, maybe can be their first name or the last name. And so you can be aware of this person, but I see they're turning into letter V here. So maybe this is someone that is weighing you down at this moment, that you're not going to be able to take out of your life immediately because there are some walls around it. Can be close family, can be in-laws. This person can be a stepmother or something in your life that there's a boundary around it. So but what happens is V is turning into victory. So if you're trying to do something and make you look bad, they're not going to be able to they're not going to be successful with it, because you're closing a cycle, opening up a new one, you're creating some new legacy for yourself. They're not going to become a part of it. They're even going to participate in your victory without maybe intending to do that. I see here there's a letter I or maybe a candle right there. I heard somewhere there's actually a quote, whatever you attach to I am, you become. And so this can be you actually setting new intention. I is the intentions for upcoming months. And also it is growing a tree right here next to it. So it can be your wish and desire. This kind of looks like a candle holder. If you had that kind of like a candle practices, candle burning practices, you can also practice that. What's going to happen with that is when the candle burns, it actually gives out an energy, and energy is never destroyed. It just transforms. And if you put your intentions like while visualizing on that candle, it can turn that into an energy as well. Okay, this is not an exact science, or it's not really depending on science, but it's a permission slip, okay, to give you a permission to create a belief. Maybe if you are watching Bashar, he explains them very well. We're going to jump into your tarot now. I'm going to start with what have you planted that will be ready to harvest this season. Sometimes it can come up as a negative thing, so don't be afraid. We have the Hermit here. So what happens with the Hermit's story is he climbs up to the top of the mountain. This means that he accomplished something. So whatever that top of the mountain is for you at this moment, this can be subjective. It can be for you, maybe literally accomplishing something physical. It can be getting a promotion. It can be moving, buying a new home, or finding a second source of income, or a third one. If you want to work from home, getting that remote job that pays very well. So either way, Hermit is satisfied. He is on top of the mountain. Now he has time to contemplate and set new goals and intentions and understand how he get there, and then replicate the formula though, so he can reach to the peak of the other mountains that he wants to go. So it seems like the seeds that you're planted in a positive way, manifestations and desires, they're going to become ready to this season to collect, so you can really contemplate maybe even about the spiritual things. Like think about the spiritual things, not only focusing on the material here. What can you do to now ensure the most bountiful harvest? Now it's like I feel like there's similar energies, not 100%, but 4 of Swords symbolizes resting, recuperating, collecting your energy. It seems like one issue is down. You might have 3 other things that you need to deal with. However, if you would like to receive bountiful harvest, now you work really hard to take care of things. You're on the mountaintop. It's time to rest your mind a little bit. Quieting your mind is the best way to receive higher inspiration from the divine, which is there are many meditation types. I do Deepak Chopra's meditations, and Joe Dispenza have amazing ones, and also transcendental meditation that I heard is actually also very effective to quiet your mind, which when we quiet it, we actually tap into the divine source of inspiration. And that can be your bountiful harvest, the reason for your bountiful harvest, okay? What changes should you be more preparing for? 8 of Swords is you're going to break free from whatever has bound you for so far. So I feel like we all have a glass ceiling that we're afraid to crash because we think that we're going to get crashed under it. So, but the thing is, you like it or not, you're going to break those bounds. You're growing, expanding. Okay, so you need to prepare to receive more. What happens is, I'm going to give a financial example. If you're used to earning a certain amount of money for so long, and if the extra income comes forward, the energy actually turns into fear, and you might attract an accident, some negative things. So I feel like your 8 of Swords coming to you as a warning and telling you, get ready for receiving more, being more, maybe receiving love, because that's what happens when it comes to love as well. When you get someone really outside of a comfort zone, like really loving, respecting, supportive, if you haven't been with that kind of a person, we tend to sabotage that, or like try to see what's wrong with this person, why are they like this, and then it turns into what we're used to anyways. So if that's not the case with you, it doesn't have to be a negative experience when it comes to relationships. This can be even with friendships. There's some things that are bounding you down right now and limiting your mind. And it seems like the changes are coming and you need to get prepared for it. And so you need to expand your vision, expand your heart so you can receive more of your desiring. What must you shed in order to preserve your energy is the Fool coming forward here. It can mean 2 things, because there's something you need to shed. If you are Capricorn, which I don't think so, but because the Capricorns that I know, they're very prepared. They do not do foolish stuff like that. They do not jump off of a cliff without seeing the bottom of it. So but my sister is Capricorn, so they are very cautious, okay? Like they are like stepped very cautiously. But the Fool takes a chance here, jumps off of the cliff. But the thing is, Fool is not a fool at all. He's been through the journey. I have here the Fool actually right there. You see the tattered sleeves indicates that he has been through this journey already. This is not the first time he's going through it. So he knows what's under the bottom of the hill. And this is basically suggesting you need to do something outside your comfort zone in order to get different results. You cannot keep expecting different results when you keep doing the same thing. So you need to preserve your energy to actually do something that is exciting and new for yourself. Okay. Another thing here for some of you, if you're adventurous, because this is intended for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign, maybe you have a rising as Sagittarius, which actually makes you also very courageous and adventurous. And if that's the case, maybe preparing the ground first, looking down what's happening on the bottom of the hill. And then jumping off can be your advice coming forward here. How can you connect further this season? 9 of Swords are the fears. The fears that you have. Maybe you're thinking that the things are not going to go well, or the outcome is out of your control. Maybe you're having nightmares. This is actually telling you, in order to connect, you need to ground yourself. You are in your mind all the time, and our minds can create amazing stuff, but they can create worse things as well. You can only see it through the movies. Don't even have to look at the wars and all that stuff happening. They're all created in the mental mind of a person. So this is basically telling you to get out of your mind. If you prepared for something, if you planned for something, now it's time to take action. Or if you're fearful something bad is going to happen, start to see what's right in front of you at this moment as your reality. What's the truth? Because Actually, I was listening to Brian Tracy's one of his teachings yesterday, and he says 90% of the things that we contemplate and fear and that paralyzes us, causes us to not take any action, never happens. It never happens. Okay, so become aware of that. That is going to connect you with further higher information, higher guidance, maybe literal opportunities coming into your life. With the Hermit's energy, we have 9 of Cups. That's why I said like you're achieving something amazing that's going to be really fulfilling, and you planted very good seeds that are going to bring your heart's desire, and you're going to be really happy about it. Okay, so the Hermit is you actually taking a break from the situation willingly and desiringly, and also maybe turning into a formula of manifestation for you and replicating and repeating that. What can you do now to ensure most bountiful harvest? Rest your energy. Knight of Pentacles is your energy as well here. If you have planted the seeds carefully, which seems like you have done already, accomplished something, now it's time to wait a little bit for things to grow, okay, rather than forcing the overwatering the soil, okay, because what happens when you overwater, you kill the seeds. That's why the 4 of Swords coming forward to tell you, okay, you have taken care of one thing, let it rest, and the inspiration will come forward, and you're going to take care of the rest of them. Okay, what energies should you be preparing for? Breaking free and receiving the victory. Okay, celebration, success here. This person comes back from the war victorious. He has 2 wreaths here that is representative of him mentally creating success on his mind, and also the wand is outside that you can see the accomplishment that he has. Horses are wish fulfillment, so it seems like when you break free, that can be your victory first of all. The second of all, it can bring a second desire, a second accomplishment that will be fulfilling for you. I say get out of your comfort zone, but do it carefully. So what must you shed? Maybe if you have doubt, because the King of Wands doesn't have doubt. He is confident. You see his little salamander, his fire on his cloak, and he's on the sand dunes right there, which represents that he's there is not much of an emotion. Like if there is an emotion, that's fire, that's passion. There's no doubt here. There's no crying. There's no water. So he's strong. He's powerful. So when the kings are actually cautious as well. They're not like pages. When you establish yourself, when you know what's going to be under the hill, that when you jump off the cliff, under the cliff, you don't need to hesitate. You can take that, prepare the energy. You can preserve your energy for that final adventure, or the first adventure that you're going to be heading to, and then start taking actions towards it. How can you connect further? I said let go of the fears. Let me explain to you this one. I started revisiting my tarot knowledge, and so I'm looking at the history and what's happening in this picture too. These people, they look like they're actually fighting, but the thing is, what is this person doing? Lifting up the wand. This one is lifting up the wand. Nobody's hitting each other. This one is actually frolicking right there, carrying the wand on his shoulder, and he has polka dots here. It means that he's actually having fun. But what they are doing is they're not getting anything done. Okay, they're fooling around. They're not fighting, they're not playing, they're not doing anything. There's no productivity here. This can be conflict also. Oh, we're going to do it this way, we're going to do it that way. Maybe you're working with people and not getting anything done. And that's creating anxiety. That's creating this kind of like a limited thinking. How you can connect is, I felt the energy of connecting through meditation. But I see here meditation that you need to focus on what's breaking your heart, what else that you want in your life, okay, rather than focusing on the things that comparing your things to others. There's some things are missing in your life, or maybe there's a heartbreak that you need to focus on, rather than focus on how bad it can get and who's against me and what's going to happen, what's going to break my heart. This is going to break my heart. It's like the sun is shining on the background. Focus on the things you desire rather than the things that are actually making you feel upset in the situation or get you frustrated. Okay, now I'm going to pull your oracle. I have a question written for you here, and there are 3 oars or 2 oar on this thing. Let me read right away. What should you cultivate more of to resolve a problem or find a solution or understand a certain situation? Let's see which one is coming for you. What's the answer? Repetition of the positive instead of repetition of everybody against me, everybody's gonna break my heart, or this is always a heartbreak, I never get out what I want, and it's gonna be always bad, like the Nine of Swords, the fearful nightmare energy. This is basically suggesting you repetition of positive things in your life. First of all, practicing gratitude is extremely important through repetition, and the second of all, I feel like to repeat what you want in your life rather than repeating the things you don't like. Patterns long to be broken. There are patterns in your life that repetition is going to break that. Affirmation may be the key. When you repeat an action over and over, although the task doesn't change, you do. The pattern turns into an anchor for awareness and eventually reveals invisible cracks from emerges a fresh self. So this can also, basically repeat something that you want to have in your life rather than repeating the things you don't want. Nature is resplendent with patterns, but they are ever imperfect, a mosaic that doesn't quite line up. The inhale resisting the exhale every once in a while and a pause. We can imagine fixing the flaws in the fragments remedy, the disrupted repetition filling in the gaps. But as it turns out, in imperfection, the earth is free. Okay, that's true. That we have something for free, the earth, and all the skills that we have. So this you can practice here and repeat a simple action at the same time each day for a month. It could look like doing 5 push-ups, or it could be sketching the same item each day. It doesn't matter the activity, only the consistency. Watch the task transform you. You could also repeat a mantra affirmation in the same manner every day and observe how its meaning changes over time. Okay, guys, that's the key to the treasure chest. Let's see your affirmation and further guidance for this reading. What do we have here? I let go of control and surrender my expectations of love to beautiful synchronicity. My expectations of love to beautiful synchronicity. Synchronicities can show up as repeating numbers, finding a feather on the road, which indicates maybe even angels are following you. And this can be seeing someone that you have been thinking about all day and they're calling you up or seeing you. And something like that can be a sign for you. And when you let go of the surrender control, you will get guided towards your heart's desire faster and easier, okay? All right, beautifuls, that's all for today. I would like to thank you for joining me here, and I wish you a magical day. Bye. Hey beautiful, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel.